Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We got to watch Spider-Man No Way Home last night thanks to my brother from The Real Rejects, Greg Alba. I gotta say, the first thought I had when we came out of the theater was, I need to watch this again, and it's a good thing I booked tickets. We have tickets for tonight, and we have tickets for tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Woo,
in
everyone.
IMAX.
You are not going to have any spoilers here because we want you guys to watch the movie and experience it and have fun the way you're supposed to.
Exactly. This was a tall order, to say the least, right? You're trying to please the audience. This is the third installment with Tom Holland. It's jam-packed. Like, you can see it from the trailer. There's just a lot going on.
And I feel like the hype machine is real for this movie.
Exactly.
Like, there's a lot of excitement and expectation for this film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With all that in mind, one of the things I was concerned about in going into the film was there's so much going on in this movie. Like, can they really pull it off? Mm-hmm. Is it possible that this isn't going to just be a big fuster-cluck of a movie? And I think that there was a lot of great fan service moments in the film. There was a lot of great action sequences, beautiful staging in terms of some of the stuff you saw in the trailer, like that expanded on. I'm like, this is just fantastic stuff. There was moments where I was just so happy and smiling and emotional and cheering. There was definitely lots of that. And so if you're able to watch this with a proper audience, that's the way to do it. Not on your phone, not some downloaded piece of crap, pirated stuff. Like, watch it in the theater with an audience.
Yeah, I am so excited for you guys when you get to go watch this, like on opening night or whenever you go watch this in a packed theater full of fans. There were so many great moments, and you were fantastic to sit next to because this guy, even though we're in like a semi-private screening with like 20 people or so, he's just like, just like, you know, losing his damn mind, jumping out of his seat. Like, I knew that you were thoroughly enjoying yourself and having a good time, as was I, because this is a really, really fun and entertaining film. And like you said, there were definitely moments where I was surprised because I wasn't expecting to like have all the feels. It covered that. I was just like, wow, yeah, this is a lot of fun.
So that being said, you know, I've had a chance to like let this simmer in my brain overnight and really ponder on these things and wonder how I feel about it. My brother asked me about it for his little like multiple person review thing.
His like fan reaction, which is out now. You guys can watch it.
He asked me about it, and I'm like on the spot, I'm like, what do I want to say about this? Because it's so hard to come up with things to say and not give away the whole film, right? I kind of regret some of what I said because I'm like, I'm not exactly sure that's what I want out there as like my permanent opinion. I'll try to correct it here. There was definitely great action sequences in the film. There was definitely great emotional beats in the movie. Like, it did a lot that I wanted it to do. That being said, the movie, like the structure of it is kind of weird, and it's hard because you're dealing with this sort of multiverse thing. I mean, that's being spoken about heavily in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell that story in a way that doesn't feel like a big mess. They managed to do a pretty good job here, but it left me this morning going, what was happening in here and what was happening here? And it's like, it's not questions that you necessarily want to be asking. These are not good questions, the ones I'm talking about.
Refrigerator logic?
It's really bad refrigerator logic. That's the thing. It's like, what was going on over there during that time? And it just doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense sometimes, but the movie moves along so quick, it sort of bamboozles you and you like forget that there's a problem over here.
Sure, yeah. And I think that's the thing, like right from the get-go, the movie does move very quickly because there is a lot of ground to cover, but they do it in such a way that it's really fun. You know, we're back with the crew and they are just entertaining and nice to be around. You know what I mean? Like the relationships between Peter Parker, MJ, and Ned, it's just become stronger in this film. Like you said, we have had 2 other movies with this cast and these characters to kind of really care about them. And I think, you know, that really does help to carry the movie in a way because we love and care about them so much.
Yeah, I really liked a lot of the things that they did here. And one of the things that made me really happy was that I anticipated in looking at the trailers, I was like, I really hope that they're able to do a thing like they did with Endgame where there's so much that is still not explored in the trailer that is there for you in the movie. And there is a lot there still of adventure that hasn't been revealed in the trailers. I'm like, okay, thank God. Because, you know, it would have been really frustrating if they gave the whole plot away. And thankfully they were able to still have a lot of story there for you to explore when you get to the theater.
And lots of nice surprises as well.
Yeah, exactly. I almost wish that for it being 2 hours and 28 minutes and some change, I actually wish the film was longer in order to give more story in certain areas that really needed it. Because like we've been saying, like people have been predicting, it's like there are so many characters in this film. There's so much to do, and things will get sacrificed. Things will not be fully developed to the fullest potential that it could be. Unfortunately, it happened with our villains, I would say.
Yeah.
Where the villains could have been better developed. Not all of them, like there were some that were well developed, but I feel like in general, the villains could have gotten more time in terms of helping us to appreciate what their perspective is on things.
Sure, but it was a tall ask because there are a bunch of villains.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they did the right thing by focusing on a couple.
Yeah.
And just kind of leaving it at that because like you said, you know, it's already a nearly 2.5 hour long movie. I think we can maybe kind of forgive that the villains aren't as fleshed out as we're used to in, you know, a lot of recent MCU films.
Yeah.
I feel like they did try, but yeah, maybe they could have gone further.
One of the things that comes up a lot in Marvel films is the ha-has, the comedy.
Yeah.
And there is certainly jokes plentiful here.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
And half of them worked. Half of them I'm like, okay, you're joking. You're making jokes. And it's like constant, you know, it's a stacking of jokes.
Yeah.
Which does work sometimes, but other times I'm like, yeah, I could have just moved on to the next scene there instead of having all that. But I will say, you know, we're watching this with a smaller audience of like 15 people or 20 people or something like that. And I imagine that the experience of those same jokes could be fundamentally different when you're watching it with a much larger audience, which I'm excited and looking forward to today, because I feel like the jokes are going to land differently when you have a lot more people.
Yeah.
You know, someone last night from that group was telling me, you know, I like watching it this way because then I know how I actually feel about the movie, as opposed to other people influencing me. And I'm like, no, but I need that drug. I like that drug. And I openly admit, like, I like the influence of the crowd because it helps the enjoyment factor.
Well,
you know?
yeah, because this is made to be watched in a theater with a bunch of people who love and care about the characters as much as you do.
Right, and so imagine going to like a Bill Burr show and you're the only person in the audience. It's not going to be as fun as if you had a bunch of people watching.
Sure.
You know, the comedy just works differently when you got a crowd. And so I feel like, again, going back to what we said earlier, you got to watch this with an audience, and I think that the jokes will land differently because there's a lot of humor in the movie.
Yeah, a lot.
I think that to date, this might be Tom Holland's most Spider-Man film yet in terms of the character, in terms of who he is, and
I agree.
I really appreciate that. Beautiful fan service in this movie. I'm so happy and I'm so frustrated at the same time because of things I wish they did in the movie. But, you know, I am going to go back to watch it 2 more times. So if that says anything about the film, the quality of it, when I say I'm going back to watch something again, that means I enjoyed it that much. I very rarely watch movies more than once. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it again. And oh my God, you guys, I can't wait to do our spoiler chat about this, which is probably going to happen this weekend, right?
Sure.
So, you know, if you guys want to, then join us for the live stream chat because, God, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this non-spoiler discussion, and stay off of anything that's going to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
So that's it for now. I'm Jabby Coy. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.